And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast. My name is Bradley Shaw, aka the Monster Truck Canucker. I am back on the episode. As Cheech said on the last episode last week with Joy Sylvester, I had just recovered, just got out of surgery. I'm fine. I'm doing great. So, to start off the show, we'd like to give thanks to our sponsors and people that support us since day one. Joy Sylvester and High Octane Coffee. Since day one, he has always provided us to give stuff to give to you guys. So we're very appreciative of Joey Sylvester. We also got J Concepts, awesome providers of RC products from bodies, tires, you name it, they have it. I'm gonna hopefully be getting some J Concept stuff for my low C little race car thing I have. We also got Justin Story with his book Making Tracks. You can go check that out on Amazon. It's $10 a pop. He also has a new one. I believe it's a Christmas themed one, so go check that out. And some of the proceeds to that, I believe, goes to some of the veterans. So definitely go check that out. I'm waiting for the scrolling thing to come back because I forget how many people we have to thank. Nick Davis, Back Channel Productions. Go support Nick Davis and what he's doing. He provides awesome quality content on YouTube. We also got Chris Bose and the 6B Apparel making us look awesome. I'm not wearing my crew shirt today. I'm at my parents' house. But $100 a pop for the retro wave and the new old school design. And we have a new design coming next year, guys. We're working on some stuff, so just keep an eye out for that. I'm very excited with that. We also got JB Scale Graphics, and Cheech is probably laughing at me right now. They do stuff for, Bigfoot, Bad Habit, Overkill Evolution, Obsessed, Obsession, Against the Grain, Heavy Hitter. I'm not too sure what else. They also do flags. So go check out JB Scale Graphics, guys. Thank you to everybody that supports us. And if Cheech is ready, let's get on to the show, guys. Our guest is Scott Liddycoat. Let's do this, guys.
This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
And as we promised everybody, there is Mr. Dan Chichagash, and with us is a fellow Canucker, a fellow Canadian, which I'm so happy, Mr. Scott Liddycoat. Scott, how's it going tonight, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going? It's going good.
Awesome. Man, let's start this off here. You were having a motor before you went to Monster Trucks. You had a pretty good motorsports background. How did you get into motorsports in general, and that and into boat racing?
So, growing up, my dad raced boats. So, I mean, it was just kind of natural that would be the first thing that I would want to do. And started doing that when I was like 18 years old, and still doing that. And then came along and got the opportunity to do the whole monster truck thing. So it was badass while it lasted. And we're back in the boats, and now my kid's doing it. I mean, it seems like something you're just never really going to get away from. You know what I mean?
So how did you get into the monster truck side of things? We'll get to the boat stuff here in a bit, but how did you get into the crazy wide world of monster trucks? Because it's interesting how many people we've talked to and their journey into getting it, if they were a fan growing up. So how was your journey getting into the wheel of a monster truck?
Well, yeah. Well, a friend of all of ours, Frank Kreml, he kind of was the one who got it all started. So I guess we can blame him. Where I live here in Suffolk, Virginia, I'm only about 45 minutes from Digger's Dungeon. And way back when I started, they were getting ready to do a test down there. And and Frank had put my name in, and I was racing boats at the time. And I got a call from Keith, and the next thing I know, I'm down there, and I got to do a test with a couple other drivers, and I guess after that, the rest is kind of history.
I just quickly thought of a hashtag. Hashtag blame Frank.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh, Frank.
I'm sure he's
Frank,
listening.
Frank.
Oh,
yeah,
he's probably
he is
listening.
probably.
Oh, he is.
Or he's trying to figure out how to listen. One of them.
Maybe.
Two. He was our very first.
Probably drinking a beer.
He was our very first live stream guest,
Live
which
guest.
was pretty cool.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, live guest. Yeah.
Did he have clothes on?
So, yeah, he was out. He was outside, I think. I don't know about the waist down, but he had a white T-shirt
Oh, I'm pretty sure
on the
he was
waist
naked
up.
from the waist down.
Oh,
in
jeez.
Florida, trying to get everything cleared out. You know, the hot sun in Florida, just trying to get everything clear out. You know, but how did you get assigned a truck? Did they tell you what you wanted to drive? Did they tell you any ideas of what you're gonna drive around? Like, how did you get to the seat of the Dragon?
Maybe I don't know. It might have just been bad luck. I don't know. I mean, when they first tested me, they didn't have a ride for me. So the first year I actually worked for the company, I was one of the first recovery drivers, and that was a cool experience because I got to go to a lot of different shows, and I met a lot of people. And then the following, I guess it was that summer after first quarter, they called up and they wanted to know if I could do a show in Quincy, Illinois. Driving Monster Mutt for actually Gary Porter. So Gary Porter's truck was the first one I ever drove. So, I mean, how cool is that? I mean, the first time I ever drive a monster truck in a show, it's one of Gary's. And he kind of mentored me, and Frank was there, and it was just a good time. I think Frank and I drank a case of beer every single night, and we had a good time. We were celebrating me getting an opportunity to do it. So, and then after that, then first quarter opportunities came available, and the first one was Dragon's Breath. And then it mutated into Dragon after that.
So going back to that test session at I believe you were saying Digger's Dungeon.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? You know, what was it like the first time you were able to whole shot the truck, get some airtime? What was like? Were you in your mind? Were you like, holy crap? This is actually happening?
Yeah, I mean, and it was three of us doing it, and it was just I couldn't really believe it, and I'd met Ryan and the guys a couple times, so they came over and they were helping us out a little bit, and then yeah, I mean, we basically went from we first went out and we were doing figure eights, hardly with our foot on the gas, to after 2 days. I mean, you did a little freestyle and an interview, and yeah, it was pretty wild how quickly it progressed. But yeah, and then you did it all with no body on, and that was cool. And then when you get to your first show though, and actually put a body on, then you're like, holy shit, I can't see anything anymore. So kind of changes everything all over again.
Well, how do you a little bit compare to driving a monster truck to one of those hydroplane boats? Because it seems like it's wild no matter what. You're going really, really fast on a boat that's pretty much hovering water pretty much. And then you're driving a truck that's driving a 10,000 to 11,000 pound trunk, and you're asked to jump 10 feet in the air. You're in two sports that defines logic and physics, and you have both of it.
Well, it's funny because the boats we've always tried to kind of keep them on. Well, you're not on the ground, you're on the water, but you're always trying to, there's that fine line between the in control and out of control. And then with the truck, it's just expected to be completely out of control, but still in control. So it was totally different experience. And with the boats, it was the weird part for me was, well, with the boats, my whole entire career, I've always been the guy who had to fix it. So you tried not to really wreck it. And then that was kind of a hard thing to get used to, was just being able to let it all hang out in the monster truck and not worry about having to fix it. So there's some unique situations, but it's just, with the boat, you try to keep it on the water and go as fast as you can. In the truck, you try and just let it all hang out all the time.
So, coming from a boat racing background and other motorsports, did you find that helped you, transition into driving a monster truck easily, or was it kind of a harsh learning curve still?
Well, it's funny, like the driving part, it didn't help one bit. But I mean, you had to figure out the truck and you had to figure out that. But as far as, the idea of racing and and getting that part of it, that was pretty easy because of the competitive nature of everything else I've done. And dealing with the people, it's kind of the same deal. I mean, with some of the boats I drove, I had crews and crew chiefs. So you had to communicate, you had to do that stuff. So that part was easy. But as far as any skills I learned as a hydroplane driver, it really didn't, none of that really crossed over. But then I started to wonder because I always did my best when it was a rainy, muddy show. So I didn't know if water had a little bit to do with my luck or what.
So let's talk about the concept of Dragon. Obviously, it's a Corvette body, so visually it was hard to see. Then they add horns, stuff. Let's add more stuff to the vehicle. So, how was the concept? And they talked to you about that because it just seemed like it's like, you know, you have to mix both. You know, you like you said in the hydroplane driving, you have to be careful. But in the monster trucks, it's kind of the opposite. Now they're mixing in, you know, whatever they're doing. So how was that?
I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of funny. They kind of, well, at least with me, you kind of get kept out of the loop on a lot of the concept stuff because they try and keep it hush hush. But I mean, we knew it was coming, and really, the goal was the first year I drove, when I drove Dragon's Breath, it was talking about it then, but it just didn't happen. And then we actually debuted the Dragon in, well, Chucky Pocken actually debuted it at a show in the States, but then I debuted it over in Australia. So going to Australia was the first time I got to drive it with the flamethrower and everything else. But yeah, I mean, it just added a whole nother element to it. And, you know, it was a cool thing to look at, but yeah, it was kind of sucked to drive it. And then when I got an opportunity to drive Northern Nightmare and I did another radio body on an F-150, you're like, holy shit, you guys can see so much better.
I could only imagine. You said like your first show was driving Monster Mutt, so I just thought about this. What is like the differences in view from the chopped Mercury body to the Corvette, you know, Dragon body? Was the Dragon easier to see out of compared to the Monster Mutt, or was it kind of about the same?
Chopped there, Brad.
Yeah, no, they were both about the same, and and like the first time I ever drove a truck with a body on was in a show. So, you know, you did everything in the test session and you're kind of like, oh man, I mean, you can see everything because you're looking through roll bars, but then when they throw a body on it, it changes a lot of stuff. But I mean, it was cool. And Quincy was probably that was one of the coolest places to ever have a show. So I wish they would go back there. I mean, that was a good time, but the old dirt track. But no, I mean, when you put the body on, everything changes a little bit.
So let's go to 2016. That was a pretty good, interesting year for you, because you got to drive another thing outside of monster trucks, those rock bouncing buggies, and then let's talk about that first before we continue on. So they tell you about that. Now that's a whole completely different animal. Only 4 of you guys get to do that. I think it was you, Ryan, Carl, and I think Rod, right?
Schmidt.
Rod Schmidt.
Yeah.
And you guys did that one stadium tour. Well, I got to see you guys like twice or maybe 3 times. You guys came in and did like encore freestyles. Like one of them was in Detroit, and I think the other one was in Atlanta. But outside of that, though, you guys had your own tour. So how was that scenario happened to you? It landed on your lap.
Well, I was kind of glad it did because it just gave me more seat time, and that's what I really felt like I needed. And so getting to drive those, even though they were completely different, but still so cool. And then we got to have a lot of fun with them. They did the dueling. We did dueling freestyles. So there was 2 of us going at the same time. That was cool. I won a couple of those racing, and it was just fun. I mean, and then it made it a little more hectic. You had to jump out of that and get back in your truck and get ready to do the rest of the show. But no, those little rockets were pretty badass.
So how was it? How was it to kind of have, in a way, your own identity? I know Darren Miga's also run a Dragon body on the arena tour, but how was it to kind of have, an identity of your own rather than being a part of a Digger truck or a Max D or all their multitude of names? What was it like having kind of, people would, relate Dragon to Scott Liddycoat?
Well, that was, as far as the fans go, that was pretty bad. That was badass because I mean, I'm the OG Dragon driver, so it was cool. I mean, and like you said, you open up the program and there's just the one truck, and it was just cool. I mean, and a lot of the fans, they love that truck. I mean, when the flames worked and it looked cool before I wreck it on Saturday and have to run it all screwed up on Sunday. But I mean, yeah, when it was looking good, it was a pretty bad truck. So it was fun being a one-off for a while there.
And then we continue on to Vegas, and I think it was World Finals 17, and you get to do the Young Gun shootout. Oh, excuse me, the Double Down Showdown or Young Guns. Let's go.
It was the last Young Gun. Well, it was back when Young Guns were so cool. Now you can't say guns.
Yeah, can't say guns. How is that? Once again, tell us the story about that. You know, you're going through the rounds, and what were you thinking as a driver? You know, doing your thing here, and then you get to win it. You get into the big show.
Wait, and it's a little backstory to it all. It was probably my best year driving, and I'd done the best I probably had done, and then then there was talk going into the World Finals that I wasn't even going to get to drive and wasn't going to compete, and I was kind of pissed, honestly. So then when they finally announced that I was going to be in Young Guns, well, then I'm like, okay, well, this is my time to show them that they were going to make a totally bad decision. So it was a little more motivation for me. And then I had Carl helping me on radios, and Frank and Randy Brown was there. All the guys were, everybody was in my corner, and, just started going so smooth. And like I said, it had been my best year. I was the most comfortable I'd ever been in the truck. And my racing was probably the best it had been. And so, things just started flowing real good. I was feeling really good going into the big show, but then kind of lost on the first round. So it was a close race. I still remember it, but yeah, it was cool to make it. It was cool to win it. And just to show them that, yeah, if they hadn't had me there, it would have been a bad decision. But I'm probably also the oldest Young Gun ever to win Young Guns.
So, let's talk a little bit more about Vegas, because, we've talked to a couple of people that have, been driven in the Vegas event and stuff like that. But for you, what was it like going down Thunder Alley for the first time, 60 miles an hour, full throttle coming into that turn? What is that feeling like?
Well, the very first time I did it in Dragon's Breath, I smacked it right into the containers at the end. So I thought, well, I got this. The speed, I mean, it's not going to bug me. I've gone 200 miles an hour on a boat before. And then I got all the way to the end and realized that it's way harder to stop them than it is. The fact that you're going 60 or whatever mile an hour we're going, I mean, that part's cool. But when you got to stop them, that was where I was like, oh, shit, I didn't realize it was going to be quite like this. So, yeah, I mean, it was a learning curve, but I figured it out real quick.
Now, I have heard stories about the the flamethrower and jumping and sometimes coming back. How is it basically? And then seeing I think the shorter chassis, they had that gray tank area where you have to fill up all the propane tanks, and it's like, interesting.
Well, my truck, it was bolted right to the cage behind my seat, and it was in a we'll call it a fireproof box. And I remember one time I think we were in Australia, and everybody's like, "You didn't shoot the flames. You didn't shoot the flames." I'm like, "Well, they weren't working." So they're like, "Well, what was wrong with them?" Well, I don't know. And we opened up the fireproof box, and the bottles were just broke off in there, completely empty. So we had a little learning curve. I don't know. Maybe they figured I was expendable at the time.
Oh man!
But when they worked, they were really cool. Everybody loved them.
Yeah.
I think, things like that for certain trucks, you had, the sparklers on Max D at times and other trucks. I think stuff like that is actually a really cool element. And, what was it like? You mentioned that you drove Northern Nightmare for an event. What was it, and being a Canadian myself, what was it like representing Canada in a show? That must have been really cool for you as well.
It was my show right after the World Finals when we won the Young Guns. So we were in Boston. It would have been really cool to do it in Canada, but got to do it in Boston, which is pretty close, and the fans up there get the whole Canadian thing. So yeah, no, it was really cool, and I figured it out real quick too. Like I had a way better shot at winning driving Northern Nightmare than I ever did winning a freestyle and Dragon. I think the fans just expected it to go absolutely berserko. So Cam's giving it a good name, and yeah, so that was cool too.
Just after the freestyle, and all the crew guys, sorry, eh? Oh, sorry, oh, sorry, eh?
Man, so let's go boat racing. And you got your boat right behind you, I see.
Yeah.
How did you get into? I know there's like different forms of it. The Formula ones, but you went to hydroplane. I know in the '90s, when I was young, I watched that a lot on ESPN. Miss Pico, Miss Budweiser, I think Miss XI. I don't know, a couple other names, but I always was intrigued by them. Can you explain maybe to the fans what a hydroplane racing boat is?
So like the one behind me, it's a smaller version of what you're talking about. You're talking about the H1 Unlimiteds, and they're the biggest, the best that there is in hydroplane racing. They're close to 200 mile an hour boats. Like you said, it's the Miss Budweiser, the Atlas Van Lines, all those. And as a driver growing up, we all inspired to do that. And I got the opportunity to do it for a few years, which was really cool, and won a world championship over in the Middle East driving an unlimited hydroplane. So, I mean, it's where you want to go when you're a hydroplane driver. Like I got a 13-year-old kid now, just started, and he's already talking about it. So that's where everybody wants to end up. But the grassroots racing, like what's behind me, those races are all across the country. We're racing in Hampton, Virginia, actually this weekend coming, and they're smaller, but it's kind of funny. People ask you all the time, like, well, what's the difference? Like, it's an 18-foot boat that does 110 miles an hour versus one that does 190. But it's all relative. I mean, you're in an 18-foot boat versus a 28-foot boat. So it's like everything kind of slows down the bigger it gets. So they're just as exciting to run the small ones. And so it's just been one of those things I've done my whole life. And it's just something that is, I don't know. It's like all the guys who've done monster trucks their whole lives. Like, you're never going to see the Andersons probably quit. So you're probably never going to see the Liddycoat quit boat racing. So it's just, it's whatever's in your blood.
I remember watching a bit of boat racing. We didn't have ESPN here in Canada, but we had TNN, and sometimes I might see it on there or other stations. What's kind of like the hardest part about, racing one of those boats? Like the driving part, throttling, because I've been in a lot of boats and when I was a kid, but what's it like racing one of those?
So the big thing is it's a 3-point hydroplane, so it touches on the propeller and then the two sponsons up on the front. So you're riding on a pad of air all the time, and the whole trick too is get it to that fine line, because the higher out of the water, the faster you go. But it gets to a certain point where there's a point of no return. So I mean, the whole key is, but it's all experience. It's just like watching those guys moonwalk monster trucks. It's like, when you get the feel, you got the feel, but it's just the only way you're going to get that feel is do it all the time and do it for a long time.
So what is the power plant on those boats? It's still a jet engine, right?
So the unlimited hydroplanes, they run a jet turbine out of a Chinook helicopter, but like the next size down is Grand Prix hydroplane, and they run the exact same motors that we're running in the monster trucks. So it's about 100. It's about 150 to 170 mile an hour boat, but it's got a supercharged big block in it, just like Monster Jam.
So, boat racing for as long as you've done, is there any classes, any other kind of boats that you've wanted to race that you haven't got the chance yet?
No, I've been pretty lucky. I've pretty much raced everything there is to race. So I'm good, actually. I'm kind of trying to, I mean, I want to keep doing it, but like the boat behind me, the yellow one, I mean, the whole idea with this was so my boy in a couple of years can be driving this one. And then I'm just going to concentrate on some of the bigger stuff. And then just eventually just pull myself out and then just be crew chief for him. So we
got a question.
Younger, man. I mean, look, I'm getting great.
Yeah. We got a question here for you, Scott, by Mr. Kevin Wilkie. I stuttered. Anyway, he said, who's your favorite APBA driver, which is American Powerboat Association?
Yeah.
He was wanting to know who's your favorite driver.
My favorite driver. Well, man, now I got to say my kid. Grant Liddycoat's my favorite driver. I mean, there's been so many. There's so many good ones. I mean, Tom Deeth. There's so many good ones. Chip Hanauer, but yeah, I don't know. If I had to pick one today, I'd have to pick my kid.
So I know how you mentioned you've raced everything, but have you done any like of the top fuel hydro, the boat drag racing? Have you done any of that?
Drag racing. Now I wouldn't mind trying that if it was somebody else's, because there's a lot of time that ends in total disaster. And I don't want to have to pay for it. But no, I have to give that a try. I haven't done any drag racing or offshore racing. So the big ones that running around out in the ocean, I never did any of those. But everything in the closed course stuff, I pretty much driven every class. So I'm good there.
So what type of course is it? Is it obviously what kind of water or course do you guys have to run in?
So what we race is every race is 5 miles, and we got a couple different size race courses. Like a 1 mile race course, obviously you do 5 laps. 1.25 miles, you would do 4 laps. And they race anywhere on rivers, like Ohio River, and then we race in, it's got to be relatively smooth water. We don't like to race in a lot of big rough stuff, so we don't do like a lot of big open ocean stuff, but we do lakes, we do, coves, wherever they can figure out they can put a race course that we can get racing on without weather being an issue.
Now, is there a race for you guys that's kind of like the Indy 500, the Daytona 500? Is there like a big kind of like special race every year for you guys?
So there's a few that mean a lot. There's a big race in Quebec, Valleyfield, Quebec. The Valleyfield Regatta is huge, but we also in ABA we have like Summer National Champion, which is a single event, and then we have Eastern Divisionals, Western Divisionals. This race in Hampton actually is the Eastern Divisional Championships. We have North American Championships, and then we have a UIM World Championship. So people bid on that to have those races held at their events, and then so if you can get there, you head there and try and win them. So those are the big ones. So I mean, normally if you're really serious, you want to be Summer National Champion or Eastern Divisional Champion, and you want to go to the big races where all the competition's at.
So this is you've raced, like you said, any form of boat racing outside of the offshore and drag racing. Why did you pick where you're at now instead of the other classes? I'm outside financial wise, but I think that's probably a big answer. But is there because the competition, or is your dad raced in that division beforehand too?
It's honestly what we grew up doing, so it's what we know, and it's just it's different groups of people, and so everybody that we knew growing up as a kid and going to races my whole entire life, it was just a natural fit.
As far as like safety equipment in boat racing, what are you guys running? Because I know I've seen, some drag boat racers have like a special kind of like pants, like Kevlar pants and other things. What kind of safety are you guys running in these kind of boats for protection wise?
So we're in all the stuff we race, we're in a safety cell. So, I mean, we're strapped in with a 5-point harness, just like a monster truck. The only difference is we wear Hans devices. We wear everything the same. The only difference is we have full-time air that we wear that goes over our face. So if anything was to happen, you end up upside down, you got oxygen to breathe. Other than that, it's all the same safety stuff they use in NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, fireproof suits, the same deal, just different. We got air. That's the big difference, which comes in handy.
Now, is there any feedback that you give currently in boat racing from the monster truck world, or did you ever give any feedback of safety from the boat world to the monster truck world?
No, I mean, it's really the same. I mean, neck and head restraints and suits and gloves and shoes. I mean, all that stuff's exactly the same. So, I mean, we don't do it without it, and I would never do it without it. And safety is a big part of any kind of motorsports, in my opinion.
So, let's get back onto the monster trucks just for a little bit here. What was it like? Well, I'm trying to. I had the question in my brain, but brain fade. Cheech, you ask a question while I try to remember my question again.
Cheech just eats dinner. Taco.
Mm-hmm.
Taco
That's why I came up with my dinner.
Is it taco?
Hey, Brad, focus. Brad, focus on the question. I'm
How can you
keeping busy
focus
right
on the
now.
question when you're eating? Where'd you get your taco from?
Yeah,
anyway?
Brad. Oh, El Toro. The bull.
El Toro.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
remember my question. Did you go up to the Paxton shop at times and do some training when they, with the Monster Jam University stuff? And how was that experience if you went up there?
Well, when I was there, it wasn't called the university, but yeah, I went up 2 or 3 different times and got to work with Tom. Oh, it was awesome. I mean, you basically, I mean, I don't know how to really explain it, but he didn't let you give up. He didn't let you stop. I mean, basically you stopped when the truck broke. So you got to try so much stuff that you normally would, if you did try it at a show, it would happen one time. But so you did, it was just, the seat time up there is it's a big deal. I mean, it really helped me a lot.
Yeah, you always have, Tom always say, Scott, I need you to give me an extra 10%. And it's 100%, but I need you at 110%.
Sell me a ticket.
But you made some awesome friends. When I was at Monster Jam, a lot of people knew you were a very good time. Very funny, very positive person. How was the friendship between you and Frank? Because it just seemed like when we did a show and you two were around, it was nonstop.
He's like the brother from another mother, man. I mean, I'm kind of mad he's not coming down this weekend of the race that we're having here in my hometown. But now Frank and I, we go back, and it's pretty awesome. It's funny because I can go a month without talking to Frank, and then when we finally start talking again, it's like yesterday. So yeah, it's definitely a unique relationship. I had a lot. I mean, I still got a lot of buddies from Monster Jam. No, I did. You meet a ton of cool people. Everybody. I mean, there wasn't many people I didn't like, so it was just a cool experience, man. It's a big family, and there's a lot of times I miss it, but I mean, everything happens for a reason, and it is what it is. I don't know. Will I ever drive a truck again? Who knows? I mean, but it's one of those things, and I miss all you guys.
I bet there was lots of pranks going on between all you guys. I bet, eh?
Oh yeah, just a little bit. We may have drank a few beers together too. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But actually, wasn't there one time you did Frank get to drive a boat? Or crewed with you or something?
Oh
like that?
no, he's been to plenty of races, but no, he's never driven one. I was thinking, did he do it? No, he never did it. I mean, I would let him do it. If I could get him to a race or somewhere where we could do it, I'd stick him in there. Man, his dad raced when he was a kid. So, I mean, it's got to be. Frank's got to have it's in the blood somewhere. We just got to find it.
Maybe some liquid courage will help him find that.
Well, you know what? There was one time when we were in Quincy, Frank bought a radio control boat from Walmart. And there was a creek that ran behind the river or behind the dirt track. We called it Piss River. But that place, and Frank did a lot of RC boating that weekend back there. So you'll have to, if you see him or you get him on here again, you have to ask him about his RC boat in Quincy, Illinois.
Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah. There was also more people that you hang out with, like Adam. I heard stories from you about you and Adam, and it was always funny. Get together and you mix Frank in there, and it became a little bit of a interesting night.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting nights. They're all characters, man. Like I said, I miss them all. We had some good times. We definitely had some good times.
So we got a question here from our good buddy from the other podcast, Mike Hedman. He says, and it kind of relates to when we're talking about Frank, but have you ever had a monster truck driver ever wanting to try their hand at a boat?
No, I don't. None of them really said they wanted to. I mean, a couple years ago, Ryan came out to the race that we're going to this weekend, and he watched it, but he never really said he wanted to try. I mean, I think most of them would give it a try, but I think Stevie Sim and Randy Brown are coming out this weekend to hang out, so I'll ask them if they want to hop in.
Nice. Yeah, that. But speaking of
Great
which,
crowd might be a
about boat
natural.
racing and stuff,
What's that?
maybe. My question was, how cool is it also seeing your son started now driving what's behind you, and
Yep.
like you said, that was is now your favorite driver. But how was it seeing your son, your blood, continuing on the legacy of your guys' boat racing?
No, I mean it's so cool. And I mean, I was hoping he'd be good at it, and I figured he would, but I didn't figure he'd be this good this quick. So everything this season's going great for him, and this is a big weekend for him. I think he even got some teachers coming to watch him, so it's going to be cool. And like I said, it's a big race. The Eastern Divisionals on Saturday, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's going to have to do his job in the cockpit and get it done. It's a big job for a 13-year-old, but he handles it like a pro. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Do you still get behind the wheel from time to time?
Oh yeah. So the boat behind me, I'll be driving it this weekend, and I'm actually
Okay.
going to be driving a second one. My boy has a different boat he drives, a little smaller than what's behind me now, but it's the only class you can start in when you're 13.
So I'm trying to think that your guys' kind of level, your racing type deal is similar. I always thought like NASCAR, where the unlimited hydroplanes are like the Cup, and what your runs like the Xfinity or Busch Series, and then truck and stuff like that. Is your boy wanting to go up to the unlimited, or is he gonna be all right with where you're at?
No, I think he thinks he wants to go there. So I mean, but it's all gonna, I mean, everybody who does it wants to, and he's fearless at 13, so he would do it now. But there's age requirements along the way for different classes, so he's just gonna have to, see how his career all plays out and what he's doing. I mean, he's still got to go to school and go to college, so anything can happen. But yeah, right now, if you asked him, yeah, he wants to drive the fastest boats out there. So
I feel like if he did that at this stage, it'd probably scare the everything crap out of him.
no, I don't think so. That's
Really?
Man. So let's talk about that. I want to know like the story of how you got your chance to drive one of those unlimited hydroplane boats. I just, like I said, I seen them in the 90s and stuff like that, and you're going almost 190 plus miles an hour. A lot of stuff happens between the start and the finish of that race. How did you get the chance to drive one of those?
It's kind of like the whole Monster Jam thing. I mean, I got a good friend, Jeff Bernard, who was driving Unlimiteds at the time, and the team he was with was going to run two boats. So my name kind of got put in the hat to an opportunity to do it, and I got picked, and then like the rest is history. And once I was in, and I did it for 3 or 4 years, and it's cool because it is the biggest deal. It's the closest thing there is in boat racing to like NASCAR or Monster Jam. So I mean, it's a whole different experience. It's a lot different kind of pressures, but it's cool. I mean, it's definitely where just about every inboard hydroplane driver wants to end up.
So, going from, the unlimited class to the one that's a little bit lower, what was the difference that you had to, in your driving style or whatever? Was it hard to get used to that, extra speed?
It's never really the speed when you're all, because everybody out there is going the same speed. So it's just the boats, the characteristics of the boat, the handling is a little bit different. But by the time I did that, I've been driving for over 20 years. So I've driven so many different boats. It's kind of just one of those things. Once it's kind of just like programmed in. You know what to do. You know how to handle situations, and that's all part of experience. It's no different than the guys that are killing it in Monster Jam. I mean, the more seat time, the better off you are.
So the one thing I want to know is you're going about almost 200 miles an hour in this waterway. And I heard stories, and I go to frequently the U.S. Nationals, and guys say when they're in the top fuel dragster, they take off at 300 miles an hour. It's like time just stops, and they could see everything that's going on. Like Mario Andretti said one time, he was racing in Indianapolis, and he would point, and you find a guy, and he would count how many times that guy would be eating a hot dog while driving the race car but he's going about almost 200 miles an hour in Indy, and he could see, clear as day where that guy's at. So was that kind of the same logistics and the same kind of idea while driving those boats, that you'll find something on the track and it's kind of like time is on its own?
Well, I mean, in boats, it's a little different because you're trying to read the water the whole time. Like at Indy, the track doesn't really change lap by lap. But when you're driving a hydroplane, the water changes constantly. So you're really looking ahead to see what you're about to run into or what you're going to hit, and because you're getting there so fast. I mean, so you're trying to, you're already thinking 100 yards out. So it's a little different. I can't say I've ever seen a dude eat a hot dog except for Frank, but it's definitely, you're watching water more than anything.
So you mentioned, the characteristics of the boat. How many manufacturers are there? Because I know, like in, sometimes like in IndyCar back then, you had like the Dallara chassis, all these manufacturers. Is it very similar in boat racing?
Yeah, it really is. There's really only about four manufacturers anymore. So, but propellers are a big part of it. It's kind of, there's no transmission, so the only next step is you play with propellers on the back of the boat to fine tune them. So I guess really, I mean, that's the big key nowadays, because so many boats they're all the same, really.
And that makes the playing field just more exciting because everyone pretty much has equal.
Oh yeah.
Boats.
Oh, you got 10 guys who can win any weekend, really. I mean, it's real competitive. So, and that's what the draw is for us. We love it, and we love the competitive part of it. And when you win, you get something to brag about.
I'll race you guys in a pontoon boat that I have. I'll get beat, but I'll be partying while you guys are driving around.
I know. See, that would I'd probably just stop and join you on the pontoon boat.
just like, hey, Cheech, throw me a beer.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good.
Nope,
You win.
I'm good.
I'm riding with you. We'll tow the race boat.
Oh my goodness, man. Do you, outside boat racing, we gotta know this. Do you have you're in the fishing, any boats outside of what you got that you use just for fun?
Yeah, I don't have any spare time. It's like, seems like every weekend we got something going on. If we don't have a race, I'm fixing one of them. So it's like, when I get a weekend off and I actually get everything fixed, I just want to float in my pool and have a few brewskis and just chill out.
So is there any other kind of forms of racing that you want to do still, being, that you've driven monster trucks and the boats for so long? Is there any other like normal like asphalt drag racing, circle track stuff? Is there any other stuff you want to try eventually?
I mean, I don't think I have to really try anything nowadays, but I mean, I probably would try anything if somebody offered it. It would be cool to get back in the truck one more time, but I mean, I'm pretty good with the way everything's worked out, and I'm pretty happy now. So I think just watching the kid race and chilling will be kind of cool.
Mr. BJ Johnson has told you that you need to dye that beard, and he misses you.
Tell him it's chrome. I like to call it chrome.
My dad does the same thing.
I miss you too, BJ.
Let's go one more thing back. You said before we got the show started, you did your time on the Tundra Tour, and being a Canadian, gotta be pretty cool though to go back to some of the old stomping grounds and racing a monster truck.
Oh, it was. It was cool. I mean, because honestly, from where I live, right outside of Toronto, where I grew up, so I'd never really been out west. So get to go to do, Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Edmonton, and then we did Hamilton, which was right where I grew up. So getting to do that one, and then doing, of course, the Sky Dome in Toronto was wicked. So yeah, no, it was cool, and being on tour with Cam, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. So.
Well, and people don't realize how cold it gets up here in the winter.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about that a little bit.
How cold it got in the winter too.
Winnipeg gets extremely cold when here, like, because in Canadian units, when it gets -40, -50, that's exact same in Freedom units. So it's not fun.
No, I remember we got the rental cars when we got to Winnipeg, and they actually had extension cords for the block heaters, and I was like, "Oh my, it's really this cold," and it was. Snot freezing in your nose. I was like, "Oh no, man! I'm not in Virginia anymore."
Oh my gosh, man!
We'll have to do this again sometime, guys.
Right? Is there any social media that before we let you go? Any social media people can follow you at?
You can check me out on Scott Liddycoat Racing on Facebook and Scott Liddycoat on Instagram, and I usually keep those up to date pretty good with what's going on with our racing. And yeah, that's about it, really.
We're gonna have, like you said, I'm gonna get Frank.
Oh yeah, we'll do Frank a duet.
And it'll be a duet. Sing along with Frank and Scott, and have the little bouncy ball going. You know. Sing along with Scott and Frank.
It won't be Crush This. It'll be the Scott and Frank show for an episode.
We'll Scott and Frank. Yeah, host it, and we'll get you the guests. So you'd be like, just if you guys could try to be a little bit like Chris Farley and just ask, "Hey BJ, remember the time you drove Gas Monkey? That was awesome." Gosh, why I said that? But man, yeah, thank you for being on.
It's fun.
I know you gotta go here, but I'll get it started and get Frank on here too. So
sounds good,
Frank
guys.
the Stank. But
there you go.
Man, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me. Scott. Talk to you all later.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Oh man, this is probably the most like smiling I've ever done in a podcast.
That was pretty cool. Sorry guys, he had to get his boat ready for this weekend at Hampton. So some parts came in, and he we had to let him go. Still, that was 45 minutes of awesome talk, and it's pretty exciting. Brad, let's get into this. I know you just came back from the hospital. A lot of people were thinking about you. Can you go a little bit in depth on what happened, or?
Yeah, I'll go in depth. So a couple of months ago, I noticed a cyst kind of forming by my tailbone, and I thought it was like a zit at first, so I kind of dismissed it. It went away, and it came back the second time. I went to the local hospital here, and they gave me some antibiotics and sent me on my way. Well, I got back from my vacation, and I noticed it came again. It started up again. Well, last weekend, not the weekend we just had, but the weekend before, I had to go to Edmonton to go pick up my girlfriend from the airport. She flew to North Carolina for a wedding, and the cyst popped on me. So I got back to Grand Prairie where I live on the Sunday and went to the hospital, and they were like, "Yep, we're going to do surgery to get it out." So it was supposed to be the Monday, but then I got told to go home. It was too busy at the hospital. So then it got done a week ago, and I'm just about 100%. Still a little bit tender. I get the stitches out in a couple days. So thank you for everybody for your thoughts and prayers. It means a lot to me. I really wanted to be there on the show, but as Cheech was starting the podcast, I was leaving the hospital, and so thank you, Cheech, for taking over last week, and I also got a new purchase a couple days ago. I got myself a pick-em-up truck again.
Describe.
Yeah, it's a 1998 GMC Sonoma single cab, 5-speed, 2.2 liter 4-banger. Nicknamed Panda because it's got a white canopy on it. So and it's a black truck. So yep. And so just making it mine. Got a little bit of work to do on it, and I get an inspection in a couple days. So I'm just happy, man. Like, life is good. My vacation was good, and like I said in the beginning, we have some stuff in the works, guys. Me and Cheech are working hard on for next year for the podcast, and the ideas are pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm stoked on these. And anything you want to say on that, Cheech? The kind of, in a way, rebrand. We're not like changing the name; it's just changing the graphics over.
Yeah, we're doing some changes. I'm gonna let it out. We're gonna start getting her back. We finally, thanks to Austin Tweedy from the Throttle Out show, gave us a little bit of a idea on merchandise and stuff like that. We're gonna get ball rolling. Like I said, the decals. I'm holding those up until next year. I have them. I want to make them in packages, deals, and stuff like that with hats from 6B and t-shirts from the company that we're going to deal with. So it's going to be all rebranding, different shirts, different stuff like that, just to get going. Our crew shirts are still for $100 a pop. So I mean, they're made by 6B. So I mean, you get the same quality as all the monster truck guys do, all the tractor pulling guys, all the off-road guys. So it's the same material, same stuff. So,
am I able to give him a little teaser of what
No.
we've been working on, or no?
No.
Okay. But
no.
But you guys trust me when I say this. This stuff is going to be sick. Like, Cheech brought an idea to the table, and like, it's probably the coolest thing that we've done yet. So I'm stoked on it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna come up with other ideas too. I found out at the Love's gas station they sell those one chip challenge. So I gotta send you that one chip challenge so we can do that for Christmas. Yep. So that's our Christmas challenge. We're just gonna do that and go for it and go on from there. But don't be shaking your head. I'm still suggesting on getting a eggnog t-shirt for you.
I'm gonna do the one chip challenge. I'm not bitching out, so I'm gonna do it.
I know. I know you're not, but just we'll do it together.
Okay, thank goodness I'm not the one suffering this year.
But you did that to yourself. I don't want to hear that, Mr.
Yes, but I paid for it in the end afterwards.
Yes, no one should feel sorry.
But guys, it's just want to say thank you to everybody that supports us. That's we've been doing this for God, I think it's like now 7 years. I think we're coming up on our 7-year anniversary, I believe. 6-7 years.
Well, now. 7 years, but we started full on charge back in 2017. So
yeah, so we've been a podcast since for 7 years officially. But it's just thanks to you guys for all the support and the love. I'm still stoked that we're still doing this today and we're kicking ass like, never before. And, thanks to Dan for kind of going along with the crazy idea. I texted him on Facebook one day and here we are doing this. And, thanks to you guys, it's, we're still kicking. So much love to you guys. Thank you so much for the support.
Right. And, once again, thanks for everyone else that helps us out. Back Channel Productions still puts our name on their episodes. JB Scale Graphics does awesome work on helping us out. J Concepts and High Octane Coffee with giveaways. Justin Story, thank you for what your contributions have done. Hopefully, we've been helping you out on your books and stuff like that. And see how that goes. And 6B, Chris can spend time with other people. And he helps us out. He answers our calls and, he does a lot for us and he doesn't need to do that. So really big thank you for him and to do that and stuff like that. And the Crush fans, the thanks, thank you for listening to us. I mean, there's all sorts of different forms of entertainment, podcasts and stuff like that. And you listen to all of them. So that's the cool thing. So thank you for all you fans to do that and do everything like that for you guys. We can use this for good, or we can also use this form of social media for bad. Yeah. But we use it for a positive outlook. I could use topics from this weekend of a certain truck in Minnesota, but I'm not going to do that. I said my piece on that. And some people, I guess, got confused and thinks that I only get paid by a company just to wash trucks. So, and that company, that comment was some guy from Dayton, Ohio. So whatever it is what it is. I'm not going to continue on for it, and I'm going to end it like that. But he needs to know more than just what he knows. So I'm going to end it at that.
Mic drop. And also, huge shout out to Jeff Richards. I always want to give thanks to Roller from Monster Truck Radio back in the day for, in a way, inspiring for what we do. I was on his show a couple times, and very appreciative for Roller and what he's done for the industry, and paving the way for us, Throttle Out Show, Monster Cast, all the Monster Truck podcasts. Are kind of from the Monster Truck Radio days. That's where I got the inspiration. So
you took this idea.
Gosh.
No, you did, but that Tuesday nights and also outside of Roller, Ross and Chris Parrish, they they took the ball and they ran it for a bit, and then the guys from allmonster.com, and their shows too, that they come out once in a blue moon, but they're good. And also, if you guys got a chance to go listen to Josh Rhodes and the Retro Monster Truck Review, if you're into the old school Monster Truck way of life, or just a Monster Truck show in a Monster Truck show, go listen and take a look at that stuff. So, it's also pretty cool. I'm there for a little bit.
Also, go check out the Cheech and Phildo show. Go check that out.
Oh yeah, if you want unlimited talk, randomness, and how I truly feel on my last comment that I said, go take a look at that tomorrow's show. Because if I feel good, it's going to be open the cans. So, that show's unfiltered, and I don't give a about it. So, Phil also. Now. Yeah, it's random. I think the last 2 episodes, we talked a little bit about traveling, and we only talked like 5 minutes about it.
Online dating.
Online dating, we talked about 20 minutes of it, and we talked about something else. This week's episode is Past Presidents. So, this is off of a Celebrity Jeopardy question that Phil was watching, and he said past presidents. So, we're going to talk about past presidents. I have no idea. This is a Phil's topic. Phil has the next 3 topics. And they're going to be pretty interesting. One of them is pretty raunchy. So we're going to go from there. And we'll take a look at that. But I'll even let you know about next week's episode. Next week's episode is DVDs and VCRs.
Oh, gosh. Phil, seriously, you could have chose any topic, but you're going to talk about DVDs and VCRs. Philip Norman, week. What are you thinking?
Yeah, and then this week's past presidents. I'll let you know the topic when the show's over with. I'll let you know what the 3rd topic is.
Oh, great!
And it's pretty crazy, but
Canadian word of the day. Just
remember. Canadian word of the day. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I've done this one yet. Poutine. So poutine is French fries and cheese curds and gravy. Best thing in the world.
That's it.
Yep. But in Quebec, it's pronounced Putin.
Putin.
Yeah, basically.
Like the Russian president?
Yeah, but a little bit more of a Putin. So that's the last tin. That you gotta get
Putin.
That's the
Give it a 10. Putin.
Okay, it's Ty Dillinger.
Putin. Where do we find these links? It's on. We only do this show on Facebook. It's not on iTunes or Spotify.
No, it's a Facebook exclusive.
It's only a Facebook exclusive, and I'll send you a link, Mike. It's really random. Everything goes out, and if you ask I'm just giving you a heads up. If you ask it, if you ask a dumb question, or you come up with a sarcastic. Yeah, a dumb answer. If you come out with sarcastic comments, we're going to fire right back. So you better have alligator skin, That's all I gotta say, because it is a roast if you enter the dome. So either between me or Phil, prepare to get your roasting on, because it'll be like roasting Donald Trump. I'm just telling anyone that's on there, just hold on, just have a good laugh, but don't get in the danger zone.
No, whenever somebody comments and you start like going off of them, just go, "Welcome to the Thunderdome."
No, get my best Freddy. Welcome to prime time. But Brad, I mean, what do you think, Brad? It's a random.
I love it. It's hilarious, and I love what Cheech is doing and doing his own podcast and stuff. And I still have plans on doing a drag racing one at some point. I'm that's I want to do that. I'm just trying to find the time to do that. Cheech, where can people find you on social media? I know that you have your carrier pigeons. There's your snail mail. There's your AIM account. What else do you have?
Good question. AOL. You can take a look at AOL. My Walmart Connects dial-up. So you may have to wait a minute before you even say anything to me. If you told me something 5 minutes ago, I get that in 2 days. One of my carrier pigeons died. I'm still waiting on Amazon.com I bought a chicken and an egg, and I'll tell you later. But we'll just go with that. FedEx, PayPal, no, Pen Pal, your international friends. It's 10 cents after you get a hold of me. After a minute of talking to me, it's about 5 cents after that. I still get connected if you use 1-800-CONNECT. So if you want to accept this collect call, just say your message beforehand and say no. And then call her from, it's a basic boy. So go from there. What else do I have? Canoe. I'm not no near body of water, so good luck on that.
I opened up a can of worms, didn't I?
Airplane, airmail. Airmail seems pretty new. So if you guys have an airplane or anything like that needs to drop some mail, I'm down with that too. Let's see here. Let's go with I'm also one of those I will, after you give me a letter, I'll tell that to a telegram, and they'll knock on the door and they'll sing you a song and then hand it back to you from Cheech. And there we go. Or Pony Express, not the monster truck. People are already sending owls, stagecoaches, Pony Express, hydroplane boats, you name it, set them up. We'll go. We'll just do a thing here, go from there. Or you can go to Facebook and hit up Daniel Chiche Gosh. Instagram, Dan Agosh, Dan Agosh 10. I'm on Snapchat too, Dan Agosh 10. Ladies, just kidding. Let's see here. RC on Instagram, take a look at that stuff. Also on Facebook, my RC monster truck stuff is on there. Dan Agosh RC. Don't forget, November 20th, we'll be having our RC program at the Hall Brothers Open House. It's RC racing, but the Hall Brothers are having open house for the public. So hopefully I'll see Mike Hedman there. I'll see him at the Hall of Fame. I'm going to try to make it to the Hall of Fame next week. I mean, the week beforehand. So try to make it there. So we'll see a lot of the guys there, hopefully. But yeah, 7:30 a.m. We're going to have the place open for racers. 9 o'clock a.m. we're going to start racing. It's $10 the first truck, $5 after that. So it's going to be some excitement right there, folks. So I can't wait for seeing people there. November 20th at the Hall Brothers Racing Shop in Thomasboro / Champaign, Illinois. I'll send you guys more information later on for hotels and stuff like that if anyone's interested. But outside of that, I am done. But also take like, share, subscribe on our Crush This Facebook. Like, share, subscribe. on YouTube. Also like us, our 5 stars reviews on iTunes and Spotify. Thank you again. Whatever that emoji looks like on Monster Jam Renato, looks like a pizza.
Pizza.
No, Mike, I don't have this weekend off. I'll be at Salina, Kansas. Then the week after that, I'll be at Monticello, Indiana. So, be a bunch of displays going on there. But, yeah, follow us. Like I said, this episode will be on iTunes here in the next couple hours. Same thing with Spotify. So, go ahead and take a look at that. But, Brad, how about you on social media? Send your letters to the hospital.
Well, you almost forgot your P.O. box in a van down by the river.
No, I got flooded.
You guys can follow me on Facebook, Bradley Shaw. On Instagram, I'm at the Monster Truck Canucker, and go follow me. If you want to send I'll send my moose to go get my mail as well. So he'll bring it back right to my igloo. I'll go out and snowshoe to, if he gets lost, I'll go snowshoeing to find him to bring back my damn mail. Yeah. So you can also
there's a show about you Canadians where there's like an airplane that like flies to give you guys goods and food.
Wait, where is it? It's in the Northwest Territories, and this is the company right here.
Yeah,
Buffalo Airways. Yeah, my dad has some stuff from them.
That's where he gets his food at. So send them to Buffalo Airways right there. That's what they will send old airplanes to you.
You can also email me at monstertrucklover91@tellusplanet.net. Not really. That's not my email.
He's also on Grindr.
Oh gosh, Cheech. I have a girlfriend, you dork.
Keeping it on the DL.
Oh gosh, you're such a it's never a dull moment. Oh my goodness. But guys, next week we have Chandler West on the podcast. So
speaking about Monster Truck Radio.
Hey.
Found this. So remember the episode of Dan Rente?
Yeah.
I was the one that answered one of the questions, and I got this back from 2009.
I don't know where it is, but I have a Mud Life magazine when Dennis Anderson brought out Kingsling for the first time, and there's also an article in there with Joey
about
Sylvester.
Joe Sylvester. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the magazine is, but it's signed and everything. I'll have to try to find it and dig it out. So I have that because I won that. Man. That is awesome.
The light. And then Hazelwood right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that magazine too that came with this card.
Yeah.
The Summit Racing.
One of the best schemes, I think, of all time for Bigfoot.
Okay, folks, let's see here. You rather have blue or white?
Blue, like blue all day. Blue all day.
But a lot of people like white. Let's hear it. Come on, people. Let's go ahead. Open up.
Let's do a poll.
What's do you guys consider the best one? Blue?
And I'm saying this.
White Summit.
Even over Bigfoot Bad Boy 3, the blue Summit Bigfoot's my favorite Bigfoot design of all time.
Yeah, I do like how the flames and everything like that. And then, just the blue matches with everything. But then again, that's the OG.
It also worked because, you had the Summit Racing Pro Stock team of Jason Line and Greg Anderson. So it all kind of worked. They all kind of collaborated. So
we got a blue and a white.
So far, 3 votes for blue, including yours and mine. And then Kevin's going for the white one. Mike, blue. So blue wins.
I'll just be devil's advocate. So how I picked? I didn't give you a fair one. I said I like both. So
I'm going blue. So that's one.
I'll go with Kevin. So
it's 3 against
white.
2.
Dang it! It's okay. But still, it's a cool card, and the card is still nice and,
Dude, that's like perfect. Dude, the slap wheelies that Dan Runte can do in those older chassis was just like incredible. Those older Bigfoot trucks could wheelie like nothing.
Hell, they're still racing. I think that's 14 or 15.
What was the one that got beat up so bad that they had to retire it? Was that 11?
16.
16.
16
Okay.
and 11. 16 and 11. So
yeah, I got to sit in 14 when Kyle Doyle drove that, which that was pretty cool.
Just want to let everyone know again.
Making tracks.
Go ahead. Yep. Take a look at that stuff, guys.
On Amazon,
also,
$10
when
a
you were
pop.
talking, also, he I just got confirmed by Frank Krimmel, and they called the show. Let me know when you do a Liddycoat Krimmel Power Hour. So
Yes,
that's gonna be the episode. Oh my gosh, we're gonna.
And then we should get BJ on so that they can interview BJ.
Yes,
I think that would be the greatest episode ever.
Is BJ on? We're gonna do this. We're gonna sit back and watch Scott Liddycoat and Frank Krimmel interview BJ Johnson.
Oh my gosh. And we might have to put some advisories on that episode, possibly.
Yo, let her rip.
Oh,
let
dude,
her rip.
we're gonna do
let
it.
Her rip. Come on, you.
Oh.
Okay, fans. Here's another one. Censored or uncensored? Let them rip or calm down. What do you guys want to do? We officially show it. It's gonna be the Frank Krimmel, Liddycoat Krimmel Power Hour on Crush This, interviewing BJ Johnson. So let's do that. I'm down. I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh my goodness. I think that'd be one of the greatest episodes since our Mike Wine episodes, man. I think that would be. Mike says uncensored. So if Mike says it, it's good.
Anything goes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, anything goes. So we'll do that. But fans, yeah, that'd be great. And hopefully you guys like my new setup. Like, I still got my mic, but I got a better camera, a lighting thing, and then I got some they're not AirPods, they're Skull Candies, but they do the trick anyway. So I can still hear Brad. So I just like it. It's a little bit cleaner, a lot better than it looks like I'm on the studio about to bust out a track. Check 1 2, check. Something like that nature. But we got anything goes. So we'll set this up. We'll get the ball rolling, folks, and we'll go ahead and do that. So we're gonna do the Liddycoat Krimmel Power Hour with the guest BJ Johnson. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'll tell you that much. I really want to do an episode of Krimmel Liddycoat Power Hour interviewing Chad Fortune.
Oh no. And then get Cam the Queen on at the same time. So get all four of them.
Well, no, you're ruining it now, Brad. Step back.
Sorry.
Let the master do his work. You make a cool logo.
Wow.
Dang it. Shots fired. This is how Canada gets into a war with America. It wasn't South Park. It's between me and Brad. So, dropping bombs. Bombs. Snowball. Anyway, we'll figure something out. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
And just to let you guys know, it's a joke between us. Don't worry.
Who's taking this seriously? Who's taking this seriously? Get out.
I know.
Get out. No, never come back.
We've had people do that. They think that it's like you and me like get angry at each other, all this shit. No, it's a joke between me and Cheech. So I'm saying that just in case if people get their panties in a bunch, it's a joke between me and Cheech.
Yeah. Whoever takes this seriously, get out. Brad, kick him out. Kick him out, Brad. Yeah, kick him out. Kick him out.
Like we don't need you here. I will throw your ass out the door if you think the stuff that me and Cheech joke around with is serious.
My arms are getting jelloed.
All right, guys. But next week we got Chandler West on. Same time, same place as always, guys. And thank you guys for everything that you do.
I gotta shave.
Me, even though it doesn't look like I have to shave, my girlfriend and my mom hate when I have facial hair like this. They're like, it doesn't look good. Shave. I'm like, I hate shaving. I
It looks
hate
like
it.
you just got that. You just got like a one strip that has no hair.
I know.
Right there.
It's stupid. But
all right.
I
We're
don't
getting
like-
random. Let's end
Yeah.
this. We're getting
All
random.
right, guys. Again, as we always say on the podcast, guys, keep the rubber shot down, the shiny side up. Peace.
That's a T-shirt we need to do. Oh, am I supposed to
Yes.
end this? Oh, okay. Here we go. Ending.